Welcome to the Rooted Warriors, the podcast where the bonds of sisterhood are not just celebrated, but explored through laughter, tears, and everything in between. Join me and my two dearest friends as we dive deep into the roots of our own friendships, sharing stories and challenges. Whether you're looking for inspiration, advice, or just a good story, we're here to bring a piece of our sisterhood right into your life.
Welcome to our thank-filled episode of Rooted Warriors. I'm Kat, and today we're jumping into the transformative power of gratitude. Being grateful helps us feel positivity, relive happy memories, and improve our mental health. Plus, nothing turns around a bummer of a day like focusing on what we have instead of what we don't. Even on the not-so-good days, we can always dig deep to find something for which to be thankful for those beautiful lives we've been gifted.
Welcome back, ladies.
Hey there.
Well,
Hey
hello,
there.
my sister.
Back to business here. We took a little hiatus.
Yeah.
Little excitement that was going on for
Just a
all of
tad.
us.
Yeah.
Anything new to report back, Miss Mo?
Well, June 27th, we had the birth of Charlotte Rose.
Woohoo!
She came in
Get it,
at
girl.
6 pounds, 13 ounces, and 19 inches long.
Pure brilliance.
Fair.
Yes.
Good size
She's
baby.
perfect. She's perfect.
Yeah.
How
We
is
all-
that going?
It's going good. You know, she was fussy for a few days, figured out that whole situation. She was just hungry. So now she's well fed.
Hangry.
She's angry. Don't mess with a girl.
She's like all the rest of us.
Yeah.
But she's doing great now. Mommy and daddy's got her on lockdown and she's doing great.
Nice.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
do a little Warrior of the Week shout out to Miss Katie Willie
Yes, she was a warrior. Let me tell you what.
for going to war.
Yeah, basically 24 hours of labor, 12 hours at the hospital. She did phenomenal.
For her first baby.
That's
Phenomenal.
amazing.
She
I
was-
would have expected nothing less. Really.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, she gave everybody the biggest blessing you could give.
Mm.
Yeah. How was it? It was all emotional. Was everybody all emotional?
It's
and
very
everything?
emotional. You know, I personally had 3 babies of my own. There's nothing like seeing your baby give birth to their baby.
Right.
I can't describe it. It's an unbelievable feeling. It was an honor that Katie had me there. I appreciate it. I respect it. And, you know, I'm just very happy for her and for Chase.
That's so
Absolutely.
awesome. That's so cool.
That is very cool.
Congratulations,
Thank
Willie
you.
family.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You know, when Gigi was born, my mom was still here.
Mhm.
And then when Xander was born and I met him for the first time, there was like this whoosh that came over my body. And I was like looking at him and I was like, this baby was just with Jesus. So like, this is the closest I'm going to get to my mother and to
Heaven.
Jesus. And
Yeah.
heaven is right here in this baby right now. Like
On
he
earth, right.
he just left heaven. You know what I mean?
He's
Yeah.
fresh from
he
heaven.
is so fresh. It made me just so emotional.
Yeah.
You know, there's something just so special about babies.
So emotional. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you're going to be the best grandma too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I
don't
can't
know.
wait to
We'll
see that.
I'll be a wreck. I'll tell you that.
No,
I
you'll
don't
be
know how you
great.
guys pull through it. Like
No,
I don't know
you'll
how
be
you
great.
said all that without losing it.
No, I mean, I
lost
almost did like 5 times, but it's okay. Like I'm trying to say little so I don't cry on air again because that's getting old.
I want to hear all their stories, the listener stories about this. Don't
Oh,
you?
that would be amazing. If they could send us their stories, we will definitely play them.
Yeah.
right.
Not even a question. I think that we do a whole episode
How
playing
profound would
their
it be?
their stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Very cool.
What about you, Miss Sandy?
Well, I didn't have a new grandchild or anything of that extent, but a good friend of mine, my bestie, actually, one of them, bought another girlfriend of mine a birthday present, and it was New Kids on the Block tickets.
Dude, I wanted to go to this. It was July 3rd. I was so mad I missed it.
I bought you a hat. I bought you a hat.
Oh my
And I bought my sister a shirt.
You were there in spirit.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I know.
Andy, I cannot tell you how rad this is.
Girl.
Yes, and they had VIP and it wasn't expensive.
I listened. We were only paid like $28 for tickets. Right?
Oh,
Paula
wow.
Abdul, talk about warriors chick. 62 years old, still kicking her leg behind her head.
Wow.
And she rocked out, and I don't remember, I don't think it was like 107-degree weather. And she was on stage. They all had to take oxygen and stuff like that. But that girl, all of them.
Liquid IV in the back.
Well, definitely all the Gen Xers had to, but definitely the younger ones too, just the dancers in general. They could not breathe on stage, but her gratitude for being on stage and still doing what she does.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
What, she like 5'2"?
Oh
and
my
just,
God.
she's so tiny.
Hey, they say little people live longer. Fun fact.
Oh, well, hey. Well, there
saying.
you go.
Well, I'm shrinking with age. So
Before long, I'll be a complete hobbit.
It was
like
amazing.
the incredibly shrinking woman.
Right? It's just getting smaller and smaller.
This is the coolest hat ever. I will wear this with so much pride. You have no idea. This
I'm
will be
so
a golf hat,
excited.
a swim hat, a
I love
Mojo
it.
hat. I am so excited about
the
this.
14-year-old girl in me fanned out so hard.
Oh my God, I bet.
Fanned out so hard.
This
I mean,
is the
Jordan
coolest thing
Knight
ever.
on stage.
I saw
with
the-
his
I saw the
white
pictures.
shirt, and
Oh my God, it was amazing. I saw the picture. I'm so jealous.
I was like, "Is that a dad body sport
that
right
is
there?" But he
not.
looked fantastic.
That was not a
they
dad.
look all
That's
look
no dad
fantastic.
body I saw. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We just loved it. We were like, they were just, and then the best part is we had tickets just somewhere past them, say the middle of the seating. And we were like, man, we wish we would have got front row tickets or closer tickets. And then all of a sudden they all walked down to the middle of the thing and got into cages right in front of us. And no joke, I was like face to face with Danny Wood taking,
my
I had
gosh.
to like take a step back so I could get him on video because I couldn't even record
You
him.
were
He was
so close.
gosh.
So close to me.
Wait, who is your favorite new kid?
It was Jordan Knight for sure.
Okay. What about you, Jamie?
Same.
See,
Absolutely.
I
We'll fight in the
initially
parking
liked
lot
Jordan.
if you want. I'm just kidding.
Monica's like, I like their manager.
Yeah, I like their dad. Their dad was my favorite.
Their grandfather was Alan Thicke.
No,
I'm just joking.
so initially I liked Jordan, but those that know me know I don't like that kind of femme quality.
You're
So
Donnie.
Yeah, so Donnie's my
Yeah.
boy. He's a little rough and rigid.
So our girl Christy, that was her
But Marky
birthday.
Mark, shout out!
I know.
Little brother's my favorite.
So he was showing up to some of those concerts, just obviously not the one here in California, but
I love Mark Wahlberg. Sorry.
yeah, he's showing up at those concerts right now.
So great.
So much fun. But anyway, how's my
Wow.
sister? How was your week?
My week was
Was
good.
it New Kids on the Block good?
It wasn't that good.
Was it
No, I feel like
was it having grandbaby good?
No. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, no, we took a trip to Southern California.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It was interesting. My hotel situation got really interesting. And then downtown LA is a wreck.
Yes.
It
It's
is
like,
this.
what is
I
that?
felt like I was
Apocalypse?
in a war zone and I
Third
won't,
world country.
Yeah.
What
Oh my-
happened?
Like fourth world country.
Is
It
that
was
a
just-
thing?
Girl, am I dying today?
No, you know, I was fearing for my life and I was by myself because he was at a seminar. And the funny thing is like, I tried to rent this hotel room and I had asked him a couple different times, like, where is the seminar at? And he's like, I think it's downtown LA. I don't know anything about downtown LA. So I rented
That's
a
so
hotel
obscure.
in downtown LA and it was beautiful, like from the pictures, and I won't say what it was, but I mean, it was beautiful. It was like, every room they claimed had a view of the city all lit up, but you get there and like buildings were burnt down and I'm walking over homeless and
Like quite literally stepping
no. I
over.
was stepping over homeless. I think I want to say why. And it was next to Skid Row.
Oh, super.
Yeah. So I guess I should have investigated more. But
So
when you think of
Hollywood-style
like
ghetto.
downtown LA, I'm thinking like fashion district, famous people, and it's not.
Like Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, well, not that,
Is that
but
what you're-
I'm thinking nice,
Right.
right? I want to say the most exciting thing I saw was a homeless woman with a baby carrier on her chest with a possum in it.
Oh,
Swear swear.
She was just bouncing a possum on her chest.
I feel like if Gina lost her shit and everything she owned, this might actually be Gina. So that's so funny that she related with that freaking possum
Hey,
lady.
homeless lady with the possum had a grandchild moment that weekend. She
No,
had just
I
had a
swear,
possum.
I'm like at a red light. I lean over and I see this homeless lady, and I couldn't see like right away, but when she like knew sense that I was looking at her, she turned this way, and so did the possum. And I was like, oh shit! I'm like trying to grab my phone so I could take a picture of this because nobody was gonna believe me, but my phone fumbled, went on the ground, and I was like,
Maybe it was just an ugly baby.
no, it was, I swear it was a possum. I live in the country. I've seen possums, right? So
They're
it was
so ugly.
literally a
I
possum.
thought you were going to see bad looking babies because you live in the country.
Yeah. No.
She doesn't live in that kind of country.
Bad looking babies. No. So it was just this whole thing. We ended up at a really nice Hilton by LAX, so I can't complain.
They switched that puppy up.
Oh my
right?
God. You know, it's funny. Once I made my way into the hotel, I'm hysterical at this point because the guy where I parked, which I parked in some back alley, he
Oh my
made me
gosh.
pay before I left my car. So it cost me $30 to park my car right there. And then he's like, and take everything out of your car. And I was like, oh my God, where am I at?
She's impressed.
By myself. Get into this hotel. I'm hysterical at this point.
You're not
And
Kansas
there's this
anymore, Toto.
big giant security guard. And he's like, what's going on, little mama? And I'm like,
Little mama? What the
I
heck?
can't
Was he an
stay
Elvis
here.
impersonator?
I'm like, I can't stay here. I can't
Peanut
stay
butter
here.
and banana sandwiches.
I'm literally losing my shit in front of this guy. And he's like, calm down. And I'm like, I can't even, I'm like checking in and I'm supposed to go have lunch. And how am I going to get back in here?
You're
And
from Modesto, and I thought I was from the ghetto, but
I'm not
it's
even
not.
from Modesto. Like I'm like a country bumpkin, right? And he's like, don't worry. Every time you come, just call me and I'll walk you from your car into the hotel. So you always feel secured. And I'm like, that's
Is
not
this
even
a
a thing.
thing? Yeah,
That's
is
not
that
a
a thing?
thing. It's not. That doesn't make me feel
He has
better.
a website and everything for that.
Oh, my money back would make me feel better at this moment. Like,
This doesn't feel like the Carlisle in New York.
no, my God.
This
No.
really, I think you made a bad choice. I think that's just what it is.
I want to say what the name was.
No, you can't because
I
we're not
know.
going to
She was
promote
saying
them.
they need to do
no,
a disclaimer.
I won't promote them and I won't say the name, but the name was super like,
Well known.
what?
Very
No.
posh and high
Okay,
end.
very posh and high end.
I know what it is.
The extent of my Googling,
I know what it is.
Do
the
you?
Yeah.
extent of my Googling was there's one in New York City.
Yeah.
There's one in London. There's one in this place. There's one in that place.
Mo
I
just
guessed it. I guessed it.
So,
She got it.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding,
So
ding, ding, ding,
for
ding.
this, I want to say that the building
just the
next door
location.
And
or
it was
two
probably
down.
amazing, but you weren't going to be there with
Absolutely.
Adam. So
Absolutely.
Well,
that's
the
not
same
gonna
thing
work.
happened with their location in New York. As a matter of fact, it's closed now.
Yeah,
because Bob
this
and
one
I
needs to be closed.
Bob
for
and I
sure.
were watching the special about the Carlisle. That's why I brought that
They
up.
closed the one in New York
They not the Carlisle,
even-
but the one that she's talking
Right,
about.
right.
Yeah.
It's closed right now.
because you mentioned the one in New York and stuff. So it's
And
I don't
my
know.
guess is
Yeah.
because of the location. Would
Yeah.
be that would be my assumption.
I think that the building two doors down had burnt down,
oh,
and I can't tell. There was a lot of burnt down buildings.
Maybe from the homeless.
And I think like homeless or riots, like I don't know. But I've never been to downtown Los
so clearly
Angeles.
it didn't affect their property values because they're still charging you for the high end hotel that you thought you were getting.
she's like, I just got a hell of a deal. But
Yeah,
on
so-
Skid Row.
So a fun fact, I'm driving, we took the Tesla down. So I'm getting, and I don't always drive the Tesla. I prefer my car, but I'm by myself. He's at the seminar. I'm like, so I put it into the computer thing. And then it's like, I had to like zoom in to actually see where I'm going. Like, so I know I have to go through like Koreatown and then downtown Los Angeles. But as I like zoom in, I see the word Skid Row like on screen and I'm like,
Oh, well, that explains everything.
that
I've seen this on a movie.
150 a night.
yeah, no.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Did
was,
anything fun
was
happen
it.
while you were there? Did you go to any cool places?
I went to the Gucci store and got a free water.
She said, I'm not going to buy anything, but I'm really hot.
You know, I'm really thirsty.
I really wanted
need
to see
Gucci
if they had
water.
anything new. And I know that they have my favorite water there. And then they just like kiss your butt the whole entire time, especially if you tell them your name and you have like an account there.
Right.
Then they're like, can we get you these cookies?
Can we get you
or
some cucumber
anything?"
sandwiches with
Yeah.
the crust cut off?
What can we do for you? I'm like, can I get a water, please? I'm just parched.
Do you have any mimosas?
Yeah. So that was it. They didn't have anything new. So I didn't attempt anything.
She's like, I'm done.
I'm all done. Thanks for the water.
Got what I needed.
That was
I'm out.
it. There's a 3-story bookstore there.
Okay.
A 3-story Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. We'll tag that at the bottom in a link.
yeah.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Nobles.
It's kind of like Junior Mervin's.
So for a couple years now, I've been collecting this. It's like a book magazine, and it literally is my favorite thing ever. I love gifting it to people. But they come out.
I've never received this gift.
Yeah, we're telling this gift. I thought it should be a gift. I've never. Julie, if you have this gift, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be so pissed. If Julie has this magazine
That's it.
and I don't, it's over.
So they come out with it. It's quarterly. So it's 4 times a year. I'm obsessed. I have almost every single issue of it. And then they came out with a new one. So I brought it to show you guys because it's a
I was gonna say, I wanna know
beautiful
what it is.
book.
Bella Grace.
Bella Grace.
Oh, and how fitting for today's podcast.
Yes, it is literally my favorite book. And when I Googled it, yeah. So
What would you say in a nutshell what that magazine is?
I love the smell.
Look at
So
the
it's
pictures.
a woman's, yes, it's a woman's magazine. It's all like photography, story. It's beautiful. So look at like these.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine, ladies,
So
being in that cottage?
I sent
and
you guys
waking up?
pictures, I think, one day.
You didn't send
I
me pictures
I
either,
got
girl.
nothing.
And each one has like
I got nothing.
beautiful. It was,
Yeah. Look at that, Greg. Someone's dancing
Yeah.
in the rain.
And there's like, so you could, if you're a writer, you could submit something.
Your brother asked me.
Yeah,
Your
if you're a
brother asked me.
photographer. And so there's a lot of like places where you can fill it in.
Oh, they have notes.
Oh, it's
and
like a
journal and
journal.
stuff like
Wow.
Yes. It's
I
so,
love this.
it literally is my,
So yeah,
my
if you know, my birthday's coming up in September.
I know, right?
Maybe I'll actually get
And
this.
so in the last how many years have you known her? That this
30 years, no big deal.
Yeah, it's fine. So she owes you how many issues?
It's the first I ever heard of this magazine. Oh, look at the fresh strawberries.
look.
I meant to tell you about strawberries. The color red, fireflies, late June, the glow on the grass, the long shadows, the peace of your heart recovering, and their origin.
Something like that. I know, right? Yeah. So it's got pretty words.
And
is what you're
rediscovering
saying.
their
There's lots of
origin.
pretty words
There's
and
lots-
colors.
And really good photography. I love the
It
photography.
is. So I'll pass it around for you guys to
Maybe
look at
we'll put
because
a link
it's
at the bottom so you guys can
it's
check it out if you
beautiful.
want.
It is. And it's a very fair price book. It's like $20. I have a Barnes and
She doesn't want to hand it over. I had my hand out for like a minute, you guys, and she hasn't passed the damn magazine.
Is it
I
a
have
bourbon noodle?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, this is high quality.
it is so high
So
quality.
for the listeners, this is super thick bound.
it's
The
gorgeous.
pages are thick. The colors are phenomenal.
Just smell it.
Oh my.
That's
Oh my
one of
gosh,
those
I
you want to
know.
lay in bed with that magazine.
Oh,
and
some
get
of
the
these-
full thing.
Oh, these photos are so beautiful. Some of these, forget me not photography. So
Katie
do,
would like
do you guys
that
know what a
magazine.
forget me not flower is? What it looks like?
Yeah, the purple. And
It's
the
little
yellow.
tiny little ones. And when I was with my mother-in-law one day at Bass Lake, I said, "Oh, that's such a pretty flower." She goes, "Honey, that's a weed. It's called a forget-me-not." And I'm like, "Well, that's the prettiest weed I ever saw." Yeah.
Some of
Forget-me-not.
the things they consider weeds are
Shout
actually the
out
most powerful.
to Forget-Me-Not Photography, Crystal. These pictures are beautiful, Crystal. Thank you.
Stunning.
Wow.
It is. I love
Yeah,
it. So
right.
favorite thing. So I went to Barnes and Noble to get the newest release because it came out. Yeah, love it.
Wow.
Love it. And some of them, like, I hope like one day when I'm gone that my kids browse through there
To see what you
I
wrote.
I've written several. There's what on the brim of it. What is the number of it?
Episode or issue 40.
40. So I have 40 of those.
What a
Holy
bragger.
cow.
Yes.
Wow, and yet I
beautiful.
still have only seen it this time.
I know, right?
It took
Funny.
until the 40th edition for Mo to see it.
to hear about it.
I have
but she gives it
envy.
as gifts
No.
all the time.
Apparently, they get gifts like this. I don't know. Anyway, so tell us about today, Gina. What are we going to be talking about today?
So today we're going to talk about gratitude
Feeling a little thankful today. Hey?
Something we can all use.
for
Yes.
sure.
and how we can encompass it into our life.
It just all really kind of stems from that one word, doesn't it? It seems like they say all other virtues stem from that.
Gratitude.
From gratitude.
Do you guys know the definition of gratitude?
I want to hear it.
Gratitude is a deep appreciation for the good things in life. It involves recognizing and acknowledging the positive aspects of your experience, whether they're big or small. Gratitude can be directed towards people, situations, or even abstract concepts like good health or freedom.
Love that.
Yeah.
So really, it's just kind of like anything.
Yeah. You could be grateful for anything at any time.
It's a choice.
It is. And, you know, there's a lot of benefits to gratitude. You guys know some of the benefits
Let's
to
hear 'em.
gratitude?
Yeah. I think I said about low blood pressure.
Yep. There's low blood
Mhm.
pressure. It's good for people with depression or anxiety. It's funny because I remember, different people I talked to over the years when somebody would say, oh, so-and-so is depressed. And, what do you think they should do about it? And someone would say, well, they need to go do something for someone else. It'll get their mind
Right.
off themselves. And I remember when I was young hearing that being like, oh, that's kind of like a jerk thing to say. Like, this guy's like kind of wallowing right now. And you're
Right.
like, oh, you need to do something for somebody else. But it's true. It's in the sacrifice that you find true meaning.
And if you think about the string of words that follow someone when they're in that space of feeling negative and depressed, it isn't from a point of gratitude. And if they were, it just seems like what would follow afterward would be so much more positive than
Right.
where they're at right then in that moment.
Right. And then when you shift from a negative thought to a positive thought, it's kind of like the saying, turn that frown upside down. Right.
It's a choice too.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Or don't and be sad and
Yeah, but think about some of the
it's a
people that
choice.
you really love that are seem happy and appreciative all the time. They're not just like that inherently. They choose to be like that every day.
And a lot of times it's a learned practice.
It is.
When you realize that you wake up with gratitude in your heart. I mean, what could really get you down if you think about it?
And life's short. So do you want to spend it not being grateful and being miserable the rest of your life?
Right. And especially if you look at some sort of lesson that's supposed to be happening behind each thing.
Right.
It's like, what's there to be upset about? If you can see the positive with everything.
Exactly. And it increases your happiness, which makes sense. It enhances emotional well-being, makes you more resilient.
Like it.
So
makes that happy chemical in your brain, the serotonin.
Yes.
Makes us
Yeah.
happy.
It also helps us get better sleep,
Yeah, I saw that one too.
which makes sense.
does.
What about your physical health? Things that it does for you is it makes your immune system stronger.
Improves the function.
So there's your vitamin D right there, huh? And vitamin C.
Yeah, right. Those are your vitamins right there. Just good thoughts of being grateful.
Grateful.
And it
In every
increases,
situation.
and it increases energy. So you don't need a Red Bull today.
What do you think are some ways that we could help bring gratitude into our lives? Like some practices that we could foster?
My daughter Katie is taken to writing thank you notes like her grandma Goosey did.
She's so smart.
So every time she thanks somebody through text message, takes a picture, sends it to them, and then later they get a little thank you note.
I
That's
love
all
it.
handwritten.
So on my gratitude list, I had the lost art of thank you notes.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Nobody sends them anymore unless that would be generational wisdom.
Hell,
That is
Nana was here.
Yeah.
She would be telling you, did you write your thank you cards?
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But interesting that you bring that up because I always thought she meant because it was just a proper thing to do. But it sounds like it's more than just proper to the other person. It's also builds yourself and causes you to remember why you're so happy and thankful for their presence.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 100 years ago when maybe if you were lucky, you got one small gift under the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
Like when there wasn't an abundance of everything here, and those little tiny tokens were so, so important, you know? And then gifts were maybe things that were passed down instead, or things that were made by hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? That
Exactly.
were so much more,
Or perishable because it was an orange or something, but no kid would think that that's an actual gift. You know?
Yeah.
No, you'd be mad if your parents gave you an
We
orange.
gave our kids orange, like because it's an old tradition to put nuts and oranges and stuff like that in their
Be like,
stocking.
what the hell is this? I wanted a Nintendo 64.
So
You're nuts, Mom.
You're nuts.
Fun fact, my granny Dell, so growing up my whole life, she had made out of like Marvel paper sacks.
Marvel.
Yes. Shaped like a stocking, right? And then she took red yarn through them, and she wrote each of us our name on each one of them. And every single Christmas, we got a banana, an orange, an apple, and a bag of M&Ms.
Yeah.
Hey, but you got the M&Ms in there.
It's like a trail mix.
But every year after year after year, like we looked forward. We're like, where's our stockings at? Where's that orange? Where's that banana?
Thirsty after all that candy anyway.
Yeah.
It's funny how generational wisdom always keeps coming back up in all of our podcasts.
Isn't that
It's kind of
almost
weird.
every one of them?
Every single one of them, it comes up. It's kind of neat.
Isn't that sort of the basis of Rooted Warriors?
It
though?
really is.
We're just trying to pass on keys that may
To help the
save
younger
someone
generation.
else.
It's about the younger generation. It's not really about us.
No.
We're preparing those 20-something-year-old women and for what's to come, and to say, hey, there's hope.
Well, those moments where like, man, I wish someone would have told me that. Well, we told you.
Maybe they did. Maybe we
told
didn't
you.
listen.
I'm
We didn't
joking.
listen. Sometimes we didn't listen, though. You know, our parents did tell us in their own way. Another way that I thought was interesting was a gratitude jar. So it's not Moe's Cuss jar.
I love that.
It's a gratitude jar. So you keep a jar where you can drop in notes of things that you're grateful for. So
Right.
over time, you could read these notes to remind yourself of the good things in your life.
I love that. And
I like it too.
you could make it fun. You could, go as far as like going to Michael's and getting beautiful paper, clipping them out really small, getting like, for me, I love pens, right? So I can't do anything unless I have a brand new,
That's me in notebooks.
Yeah.
What is the block there?
I have like pens that I love to use, right? It's my
funny.
thing. But even if you got like beautiful little pieces of paper and you decorated your jar with ribbon or whatever it is,
Mine would look like a serial killer, didn't it? Like looking up a
She's like gluing letters to the piece of paper.
everybody knows, like
Cutting
right
out
where the damn,
newspaper clippings.
right, like a fifth grade boy. It's
I was
embarrassing.
thinking it would be cool to write it on rocks and put it in there.
yeah, I mean, you
Heavy
could,
fucking jar.
Or put them in your garden.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you have a gratitude garden, right?
I have a gratitude house.
I've got a solution for all your problems,
Yeah.
homie.
I love it.
I mean, I had that. I also had that on my list, a gratitude jar.
Well, did you have on your list a gratitude journal?
Yeah, I do have it.
do
I
have
said
it. You would.
journal or jar. But what made me think of it before she said it was that one of my birthdays, and Maddie was probably, 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere around there, where she doesn't have money to go buy me a gift. So she got a jar, like a mason jar, and she made this pretty little piece of paper, and it said 200 things I love about you.
I love
and she
it.
taped it to the jar. I still have it. She taped it to the jar, and this girl literally wrote out 200 things that she loved about me.
Did you read every one of them?
No, I'll pull one out, and I know that the ones that I've read are unwrapped, and then the ones that I haven't read, but it's right in my office.
What a great gift to give
When she
someone
upset you this
else.
last time, did you go through like 50 of them?
Yeah, right.
I thought you appreciated me.
She's like, liar. Set it on fire.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
Barbecue going in the backyard with a jar of paper.
So obviously there is the obvious thing to express gratitude to people, but this is something that I notice seems to be hard for people to say thank you and actually mean it.
Well,
it seems to be
super
difficult.
hard to do it. And I think in the hard times, like if something bad's happening to you, to find gratitude in that moment of maybe what you learned or
Right.
what it brought you. Maybe you wouldn't have had this had that not happened.
100%.
But even in the good times, don't you see people almost it's difficult for them to let their guard down, to allow themselves to feel happy or gratitude towards something so small. I don't know if it's trauma based or what happens with people, but I swear it's like a pride thing. They're afraid to allow you to see them.
And I think sometimes
happy
like
over something.
this generation just doesn't appreciate things. There's so
Maybe a
many
lack
people
of
that
it.
they just expect it rather than, it's like the little things that I appreciate. Like let's once again say for breaking bread, the office lady's going all totally above.
beyond.
And, like she picked sunflowers for Gina because she knows that Gina loves sunflowers.
Right.
And, it was all Italian theme for our last podcast. And, that's above and beyond,
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's us teaching them to be more appreciative and to have gratitude.
I honestly think that sometimes they literally don't
They
even
don't mean
see
it.
it.
Yeah, they don't mean it.
Don't even see it as something to be grateful for.
And I don't know if it's a lack of raising in such a way, right?
I mean, how many times have you told your kids, and I've told my kids, I know it's not just a lack of raising, because we do tell them it's just what they expect and what, like, they don't want an orange or some nuts in their stocking. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want, like she was saying.
Yeah, I
Nintendo.
didn't want an orange. I wanted the Nintendo that everybody else had. So I didn't appreciate the orange I got.
Right.
Real good, Mo.
Right?
I'm just kidding.
Real jerk.
Thanks for the orange.
I know,
Thanks for
whatever.
nothing. So what do you got on your list over there, Gina?
Gentle acts of kindness.
Ooh.
Right. So sometimes people who don't have manners and don't know how to be grateful, maybe it is our job to show them, and not in a bad way,
No.
but just teaching them through our behavior and how we treat them. Right.
Right.
Could be it. Saying grace before meal, right? Being grateful every day for our food. And maybe it starts by little acts of just being grateful for our food. Here in this country, we have so much food that we forget to be grateful. We don't really know how to suffer all that much here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
like,
that's for sure.
So, just being like in like the little things that we do, being grateful. And sometimes I do forget, to be grateful, and I start complaining, but maybe it starts with less complaints,
right.
Instead of complaints coming out of my mouth, let it be good things. Complimenting people. There's a lost art.
I was just going to say, like, words of affirmation are whispering sweet nothings in your spouse's ear of things that you really appreciate or are grateful for. About how hard is that sometimes? You know what I mean? You're not really
Sometimes
feeling
harder
it.
than others.
I know. Sometimes we want to poke them at the same time that we're doing it. No, I'm just joking. No, really, truly, it is hard sometimes to let our guard down and choose love and not violence. I'm just kidding.
Or like, how often do you compliment people that are unfamiliar to you? Like, not
All
our
the time.
children.
I do it a lot.
Yeah. So like, I feel like yesterday we were at a grocery store, we're in line. And as soon as we get up to the lady, we probably had two people in front of us. So the whole time she's pretty much just like sliding the groceries with her head down, like don't really see her face. She's doing her job. Right. And then when we get up there, of course, Adam is like, how are you doing today? I love your scarf. And she just looks up and was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's literally quite
the little
possibly
things.
the only time that day she's going to hear anything positive about herself.
And it's free.
Especially from customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
It's
being
free.
in customer service, that's why we compliment people more. That's why we're nicer. Because we know how it feels to just have people be rude all day.
Yeah.
And anything they say is usually negative.
Even taking the time to slow down and notice the person, the wallflower, the person that's maybe not talking as much, who is with the girl that's really beautiful, that's wearing the really cute dress, maybe you didn't notice the little pendant that the little quiet girl was wearing. So taking that extra time and noticing, those people that maybe need it just a little bit extra.
I like that a lot. One of my favorite things is the idea of a gratitude walk. Taking a walk and using this time to reflect on things that you're grateful for. As we talked about during Wanderlust, was nature can be a great backdrop for fostering these senses and to appreciate.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. In fact, it's really just kind of when you wake up in the morning, before your feet even hit the ground. If you
don't pick up my phone,
not at all. What's the first thing that you're happy for that morning?
Breathing.
Being alive.
I love when I wake up.
You said that before in another episode.
I say it all the time. Happy. I say it to my customers. I have this one customer that comes in and he's quite grumpy every single morning, right? He's like, rah, 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 rah. And I'll say, gratitude. Good morning. And he's like, what's so good about the morning? And I'm always like, I woke up.
Yeah, right.
I woke up this morning.
I'm here getting to talk to you fine people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
that's
sure.
That's a bonus.
Have you guys ever heard of Amala?
I have not.
Amala. Okay. So it would be similar in the United States to a rosary.
Okay.
Right. So in different places, they use it for different things. Right. So I think Hindu uses it.
Is it Buddhism also?
Buddhism.
I think maybe it's a gratitude bead necklace or something.
So it has 108 beads on it. And usually it'll have a tassel and it'll have one center bead on it. And then, so my friend gave me one, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. And she was like, this might help you acknowledge like the pattern of like gratitude, like not being so negative. So it's not used like a religious thing. It was more like you start at one side of the tassel and then bead number one, you in your head, you're just something you're grateful for. And then number two is something you're grateful for. And number three, and see how far you can get. Cause there's 108 of them.
It's a lot of beads.
Yeah. Right. And so maybe the first day, I did 20 things, but the next day I sat down and, then you're thinking, now you're like, okay, well, 20 wasn't the God. I'm really not all that grateful for my life. Right. So then you go through and maybe the next day you got, 25 and you just get better. And pretty soon you're filling up this necklace and you're realizing like, I have all of these things to be grateful for.
I love that.
It's a way of like just practicing and then practicing it out loud. Like how often do you just sit down or make a list? Make a list every single day. What are you grateful for that day? Right. At the end of your day, being mindful and being like, I am so grateful that I got to gather here together with my two best gals, and break bread and do something that not everybody gets to do and
get to serve in this way.
Absolutely. And you just sit and list the things that you're grateful for, and maybe that's our gratitude journal. And that's something that all three of us start doing to learn to be just completely grateful for the things and how blessed we are.
I wonder if it's hard because sometimes you have to be grateful to yourself for doing a good job that day or whatever. Sometimes, and it's not easy to give yourself any kind of credit, right? Yeah. Also giving it to the right person that gave you the chance to be grateful here is a big part of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think like the main thing is being mindful, right? We're going to start being mindful about this.
I super love this idea. Whether it's the jar, or the journal or both or whatever.
It's about the same principle.
Like this is a do better. I feel like we should really be honed
This is a
on.
real do better.
So I've been thinking about like I hope my kids don't listen to this, but I've been thinking about Christmas gifts. Cause I do this like every year. I'm like, Christmas and gift. And it's all gifts, right? It's just money. And then you spend the first 3 months of the year being in debt,
Right.
And it's like, what can I do for my kids that is something like meaningful for them? Like I'm tired of gifting nonsense gifts to gift. So I don't feel guilty at Christmas about not gifting enough. I do this thing when I get closer to Christmas and then I start counting presents and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do enough. I'm a failure as a mother. Like, oh, there's just not enough here. Right.
And we've all done this.
Right. But, and then it's just stuff. Thanks. We eat, we get fat, we leave, we go home. And that was Christmas. And I'm like, oh my God.
I feel the same way. I felt like this has been something that's been on my mind for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's weird you guys bring that because when we started homeschooling that we got introduced to this 5 gift rule. Have you heard it? It's basically a want, need, wear, read. And as a grandmother, it'd be a great thing for you to hone in on. And basically you only give them 4 gifts to each child. It's something they want, something they need, something they wear, and something they read. And that's it. They
like
get
it.
nothing else. 4 gifts, and they can be as small or as big as you want. But that to me is just, you kind of hone in on those special little points. And then you're not really falling to society at that point and falling into the have to go Black Friday shopping and make sure that you spend a certain amount because that's how you truly show someone you love them. Well, not if you're really teaching gratitude.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will really appreciate like your grandchildren reading them books and spending that time with them, and they'll collect them, and then they'll want to do that with their kids. And there's the generational wisdom, and there's, there's.
Because who's been to a kid's birthday party where the excitement is just, it's not the gift in the bag.
They're throwing them to the sides.
Yeah,
just
it's just
want the
opening.
little
It's like the hit of
paper.
dopamine, the hit of dopamine, the hit of dopamine.
They hold the gift and they put it to the side.
And then how many kids, and so there's a friend of Adam's, and we went to their house, really great people, nice people, not saying anything. They're very, very blessed, but they have little girl. They have one little girl and a teenage girl. And the little girl, she's the cutest thing ever. And she said, do you want to see my room? And I was like, yeah, let's go see your room. I'd never seen anything like that before. Like stacked to the walls. She's like, I have all 3 of these kitchens. I don't need them all, but I have all.
She's like, do you know how hard it is to keep these things clean?
But I have,
She's slaving away.
She's like,
all right.
But I have 3 of them. I also have like 9 crowns. Do you want to see all 9 of my crowns? And, but I'm telling you, this room was to the ceiling. You couldn't barely, she had a path.
So what do you want for? Like, what do you get excited about? What do you even ask your parents for next time?
No, there's nothing. There's no need. They could
do you remember the excitement of wanting something though?
There's
because
so much in there for a small child. I can't imagine her racking her brain on like, what do I want to play with? What is my favorite thing? What is something I love?
Like, what kind of anxiety does that cause?
No.
Like trying to figure out what you're going to play with.
I've never seen anything like it before. Like it was crazy. And I'm talking, it was crazy. It was just extravagant.
We all have different perceptions of what it looks like to be a parent or to show love. And sometimes I think, is that their only child or one of their only 2? So
2, they have 3, but 2 are still at home.
Okay.
So she's pretty young. I want to say she's in 1st grade.
And sometimes it's like if you didn't have anything growing up and then all of a sudden you have, then you're over giving to your kids.
Okay, but what is the impact on that child?
No, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's probably why they do that.
For sure.
Or maybe making up for something else. Just maybe they work a lot or they're, I don't know.
It could be all the above.
Us parents do guilty things all the time.
For sure.
But then we end up kind of like where we are, where we have kids that you're
Are not
gifting and
grateful.
they're like, okay.
Well, and now we're reflecting and trying to beg other people, don't make these same mistakes we made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because teaching this level of thankfulness and being able to, Mom, thank you for that. You know how much I get almost chills when my boys thank me for dinner.
Oh, I love it when my kids thank me for things like that. It's like,
they thank me for thank you, Mom. I was hungry or whatever. And I'm like, oh, baby, of course. You know what I mean? But when they don't and they just expect it, you just kind of get in the rut of everyday things and no one's saying thank you or appreciating each other and things. And everyone kind of gets lost and resentments built. You know, our poor husbands probably feel very much like that if we're not careful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think I'm going to give the men and for my children, for my sons, I think I'm going to give them. So last year, late in the year, I think maybe September, I was like TikToking, and you know how they do the envelope challenge?
No.
So it's 100 envelopes. And you can get them in like really pretty binders and make it however you want it to be. But on your first envelope, you would write
Don't
one.
be mad if I copy you. I'm totally writing notes right now.
You write 1 and the next one 2 and you go 3, 4, all the way up to 100. Now you have 100 envelopes. But the challenge is, and so last year in September, I bought one for myself. And I just counted my money in there the other day because I'm going to use it towards the cruise that we're going on. But I have like $3,000, like $200. So
it's
I started
one day and 2 the next day and 3 the next day, right?
So I started and I'd be like, okay, so I have a little extra money this week. So I do like 2 from over here. So put $5 in one and $10 in one, and then maybe $80 over here. And then maybe 96 over here.
There's no rhyme or reason that you put
you
in
can,
it.
you can start at 1. And then like have anxiety every time, like the next week you got to put 92 and then the next week you got to put 93. So I flip back and forth, but now I can see like my empty pages, right? So I've gone from 1 to 20 and then I've finished just this week. I finished all my 20s. So really all I have, and I've done all my 30s. So I have a couple 40s, a couple like 70s, but in the end you have $5,500. And
my gosh.
that is like discipline for them to maybe plan a trip for
the
the
amount that's on the envelope every day.
Not
every
week.
week.
Obviously I wouldn't be able to do it every day. I mean, if you have up to $100 excess every day, you could put it in there. You know what I mean? But like once a week,
but just once a week.
Right. If you gathered all the money in your purse, like for me, I probably have, like $30 in my purse. I could like knock out one of the numbers and knock out one of the numbers. Right.
Do the envelopes take Apple Pay or Venmo?
I know. Do they have it? Hey,
we're trying not to be electronic. We are cash is king.
We do.
Okay.
Now we're going to start paying our bills the same way and putting them in an envelope and whatever.
Cash is king. So in the end, it's like a way for them to self-discipline and then to maybe have money for a trip or something they need, new washer and dryer.
I love this
things
idea.
Like that. And then maybe for the girls, my daughter-in-laws and my daughter, I can make some really pretty gratitude jars.
I like that.
I like that
a lot.
What kind of appreciation is that instilling for their happiness through that year though?
Yeah.
That excitement and the thankfulness and the gratitude of
I
counting that
challenge
money.
you every day I'll give them 365 slips and I challenge you every day to write one thing that you're grateful for.
I like that.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that, right? Just one a day.
One a day.
That's one good thing to be thankful for.
Keep it by your bed. Keep it at your desk. Do it in the morning.
Keep it by the toilet.
Yeah.
I don't care. Figure it out. What works for you.
Grateful that I'm awfully hydrated today.
Grateful you're not my house looking at my grateful jar, right? Because who knows where I wrote those out. I'm just joking.
Yeah. So
by the toilet.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty good
I like this idea.
Right?
It's so good.
I like it a lot.
Have you ever heard of, he's a scientist, a Japanese, he was a businessman and he did this. He believed that, things hold vibration. Right. And I believe that he won a Pulitzer. What is it called?
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. On this.
Well, there's a Nobel Peace Prize too.
No, maybe it was a Nobel Peace Prize. His last name is Emoto, I think.
Either one of them was really fantastic.
Yeah. I'm
They're good awards.
Wreck this one, but I watched it and he, so he took water and it would be like me giving you a bottle of water and you take this bottle of water and you spend 24 hours with it, just hating it and telling it like you hate it and you loathe it and all of these bad things, right? To this one bottle of water. Right. And he took another bottle of water and he sent it home and they did love and they just loved and loved and loved on this bottle of water and said nice things to it and sounds super ridiculous, but
you'd be surprised.
But when they were done, so they had hate, they had fear, they had love, and highest of all, they had gratitude, right? Because that's our highest vibration that we can put out, and they froze it. And so and funny enough, each one was accurate, the same over and over and over. So this was gratitude.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Is that not crazy?
Oh my goodness.
It's like a snowflake.
It looks like a snowflake.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
And so they froze it. And then
that's crazy.
You can Google it, but they did. I wanted to show you the hate. But you can watch the whole thing if you Google it, if you YouTube it, you can watch the whole process they go through on like vibrations and what our energy, what it does.
Right.
But I just wanted to show you like gratitude was the most brilliant one.
Well, they did They actually did a study on Vietnam War vets, and the higher levels of gratitude that they experienced, the lower rates of PTSD that they had, which suggested that gratitude can help individuals refrain from negative experiences and find positive meaning in situations instead of having it have that type of reaction in their brain. So
Makes
it just
sense.
depends on what kind of upbringing they had a lot of times of how much it affected them. And granted, this is just a study, and you all can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's just what they were saying, that it can really make a difference in PTSD.
Right.
Well, clearly it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Like this is Frozen. You disgust me.
Oh my goodness.
That's hideous.
Isn't that crazy?
What? Harmony is pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gratitude. Look at you, fool.
It looks like a tornado.
Isn't that
You fool.
over and over?
But you
Look
know,
at
words are a
Evil
curse.
looks like the eyes of an evil person.
Wow.
Doesn't it look like the
that is
pupil of somebody that you know is
intense.
bad?
But over and over, they did it over and over and over. Same thing, same images that they were getting
So
for the
what-
frozen water. Isn't that crazy?
You actually had a quote that you were going to share also, I thought.
Oh, that I was going to read.
Yeah. I have one too, but I wanted you to. Did you have one too, Mama?
No, I don't.
Okay. I can read mine first. It's William Arthur Ward. Actually, it's not. It's Melody Beatty. And she says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It can turn meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend.
I
So,
love that.
I know, just all on how you look at it. You
That
know what
is
I mean?
great.
It's a good quote, but you had a good one, and I wanted
We should
to-
have like little things on our website that have things like that.
Little
We
floating
should start.
quotes.
Yeah.
Well,
little-
we should start just posting more of this
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah.
I want to live in such a way that I don't miss the beauty that is all around me. I want to jump into the water and watch the sunset. I want to sing loudly in the car with the windows rolled down. I want to laugh, but the big belly laughs. I want to dance in my kitchen and be present for all those who I love. I want to walk barefoot as much as possible and soak up the sun. I want to find joy in the simple things in life. I want to let go of all the things that don't matter and be present in all the things that do.
In
Wow.
a nutshell.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Rooted Warriors. We hope today's discussion on gratitude has inspired you to recognize and celebrate the positive aspects of your life. Remember that cultivating gratitude can transform your mindset and enhance your well-being. If you enjoyed this episode, please smash that subscribe button. We would love to hear about what you're grateful for. So connect with us on social media or drop us a message. Until next time, this is Mighty Mo signing off. Feel blessed, be blessed.